Hello. I thought that would be like the coolest way to start a video. Hello. It's me again. Your friendly neighborhood friend in a wheelchair. Uh, uh, all right, check it out. We have to make an agreement. We have to agree before we even start this video that there is so much to share. And I don't just mean today. I just mean in general. There's so much to share. And with the way my mind works, if I set the limitations and expectations that I have on the way that I would ideally like to share that information with you, it is never going to be done because I don't have the resources to get that all edited and nice and whatever right now. So my goal needs to be that there is no editing involved here. So we're here. We kind of gotta do minimal. Cause I just don't have the capacity, dude. I'm just being real. I don't have the capacity to make this all fancy and wiggity waggity whatever. But the message that I have to share is more important. And so it needs to get across. And I understand that there are certain best practices involved in the algorithm and in even communicating this clearly for the sake of you having a structured order of what we're talking about that I would love to give you. And check it out. One day I'll have a team. I'll have people who can help me organize my thinking. Right now, I just don't have it. I don't have that capacity. But it doesn't mean that there's not really, really important insights and wisdom and learnings that I know people out there are looking for. And I have it in me to give. So I just have to say that kind of out loud because I realize I'm the only one that's really holding myself back from sharing that is I don't have all the specific organizing and blah, 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 whistles and jingle. Listen, we just got to do one take. I'm sorry in advance that this is not, if you are not neurodivergent, this is probably not going to be fun. But if you are neurodivergent in some way and are able to just hop with me, then cool, let's roll. And maybe AI can help and organize and give you some nice, beautiful, automatic chapters for what I'm going to talk about. But the reality is, as much as I want to offer you a nice, that's just not going to happen. And I think I need to come to acceptance with that. So what I do want to do though, today, last time I talked to you, I think it was week 2 of ACL recovery. I'm going to share a little bit about this past week, week 3, going into week 4. And then I kind of want to just riff and share about some of the things that I've been working on with people, some of the things people have come to me for some guidance about. Because at the end of the day, if people are asking me, it means that there's probably other people that wants the answers too. And chances are, a lot of those questions can be scary to ask to another person. So we go to a very anonymous source, like a ChatGPT or whatever it may be. And maybe you get a good answer and it helps you with your life. Wonderful. Or maybe it just sends you in circles. Whatever. But, what's the thing that, if you ever went to the casino and the card players, they do this thing where they shake and they're and they have to show the camera multiple angles of their hands to show they're not. So that's me, right? My hands are clean. That's what I got. Boom. All right, real quick about ACL surgery stuff. This week is I shared last week about grief of just the stillness that comes up about my dog and, relationships that I had lost and just transitions really. And, this week has kind of been more like getting back into the physical focus. I kind of feel like I kind of like took a step back in my physical recovery. Like things that didn't hurt now do. And like I was able to do like full extension with like no problem. And now it hurts when I do. So there's like some I'm a little more paying attention to it. I may or may not be watching other videos that talk about what are the signs that something's wrong and all of that. Uh, of course, because that's what I do, right? I nerd out, and when I want to learn something, right? Like I like to learn. I was researching just earlier. I'm like watching videos about like, dude, when you think about it, how does a graft from my quadricep tendon get snipped out, tied up in a nice little bow, and then put in my knee, and all of a sudden it becomes an ACL ligament? Like, how does it know what to do? It's like you took this guy from the front of the restaurant, right? He's a cashier, and you just throw him in the kitchen. How's he gonna know how to cook? And it's like, oh, your body can do that. What? So, like, body stuff is wild. And I think I already told you I got my stitches out. Yeah, I'm just starting to see like more pain, more swelling. Sleep these last couple days has been kind of rough. Yeah, and like there's more pain, and pain has been like virtually nothing the last week or two, and now it's like coming back. And part of it could be like there was this one NSAID that I was on for like inflammation and stuff like that, diclofenac, and I have to look back at my records. I think I just stopped that, so I'm wondering if that could be part of it. Like maybe this was here, but I wasn't feeling it. So I don't know. I'm being a little bit more cautious and careful and responsible, I guess you could say. I'm wearing my brace more often just for the sake of like added support. Like I'm almost like, I'm like talking to my knee, right? And I'm like, all right, like, what do you need, buddy? And it's like, all right, maybe you just need a hug, right? Like maybe you just need to know that like, all right, we got you, right? So like I'm trying to keep the brace on more often. The other day I like drew a circle around my shin for like, where is the numb spot? I didn't realize that like I was going to lose feeling and sensation in part of my leg. So like that's interesting, and it's kind of like a cool, I don't know, I guess it's like a cool challenge that I like to take on, is like very slow, is it called slow, is it desensitization or stimulation or whatever? But it's like, how do you slowly like encourage the nerves and stuff to like come back? And it's kind of funny. Like I feel like it's kind of like if someone is like, I mean, this is the way my mind works, right? But it's like when someone's in a coma, but like you're still gonna show up and like talk to them and read to them and talk to them and tell them stories and sing to them and all the things. It's like, hey, like I know you're in there. I know you can hear me. Like I'm here. You take it to I'm here. And it feels like that's me in a sense. I'm like, hey, hey, buddy. Like, all right, like it's like when you're ready to wake up, I'm right here, and then like nice and gentle. I don't know. So anyway, like, yeah, it's been like a little bit of a roller coaster of a week in that front. I realize I'm also just like very tired. Like I can't really leave the house. And I'm grateful. Like I have, I don't feel like a sense of like loneliness or like isolation, in terms of like community. Like I have, friends to stop by, or to call or FaceTime, or to go, like we go to a meeting or we go wherever. So like I feel good on that front, but I realize like if I'm out, like even just a PT and all of that, like after like 2 or 3 hours, like I'm just tired. And it's like, dude, I gotta get back home. I gotta just lay down and take a nap. Which anybody who knows me knows I'm already like a nap queen. So imagine that, just like even more so, and like even more unapologetically. So I don't know. But I'm liking it, like the stillness. Sometimes when I'm like waking up in the middle of the night, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever, like I'm awake, and I might do some of my like leg exercises. I'm gonna take a break on that for a couple days just to see what's going on. But I might do some leg exercises. I might read. I might write. I might meditate. I've been meditating a lot, and it's like super, super sweet and cool. And yeah, like I get giddy, man. Like in my little 400 square foot little square. I'm freaking giddy, man. You should see when somebody tries to come over. Somebody's coming over to pick me up. I'm like, you have to see my plate. Like I get so giddy and so excited. Okay, so anyway, that's the story with recovery here. Today I was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with a friend of mine who came to town. And cheers to them, by the way. They have like free accessibility scooters and things, which is like super cool. So like that was good. But yeah, I'm just like getting more and more appreciation for the privilege that I have as like a typically able-bodied person, and I'm just realizing all of these extra hoops and things that people with disabilities have to worry about. I was at another place today and like looking for a bathroom, and I'm like in this wheelchair, and the first one, it was like, oh, they don't have that. I'm like, do you have another restroom I can use that's like more accessible? And they're like, yeah, let me show you the staff bathroom. And it's like totally not accessible. Like it's bigger and there's like things, but it's like up 2 stairs. And so like I'm fit and like I can, I'm like young and I can be weird and like maneuver and climb, use my arms or whatever. But it's like, dude, like someone should not have to be strong to use the bathroom. And like when I go to place, like I went to a Dave's supermarket, like grocery shopping, and like all of the scooters were out of service. And, like little things like that, I feel like I never would have really like, oh, who cares? It's fine. But now I'm like, no, that is not okay. Like that is a big deal for somebody that is not like capable of just moving. And like little bumps are big deals. And like even at the Rock and Roll Hall, they like had like a family restroom that was apparently they have men's and women's restrooms that they said is wheelchair accessible, but I was in a scooter, and so but they have a sign like family and accessible restroom, just ask a staff member. So I'm like, okay, like, hey, can you point me to where it is? And then they have to like escort me to the back of the house where like everyone's having their lunch for like a staff bathroom. And I don't know. It's just like, yeah, part of being somebody that's not physically abled is like, how can you create an experience for me that's as like welcoming and smooth as for an able-bodied person? So it's like, why do I have to ask somebody to go to the bathroom to find a bathroom that I can get into? And like, why do I need to like get an escort? Like little things like that just point out your disability, like even more. Or like even little things, like I'm like at I mean, it wasn't a big deal there. I have to give them credit. But like some places like you go and like, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm like trying to check out and it's like, I can't even see the card thing to pay. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like we can work around it, but the point isn't to like make it work and like just get the job done. But like, how do you help that person that's in a wheelchair or whatever feel just as much like, yeah, this place was made with you in mind as well. Like you are part of the community. You are part of the people who we want to serve. And that's just like showing up for me more and more. And there's always like this little fear sometimes, like when I'm on elevators and I'm going to like a higher floor somewhere or whatever. And it's like, how many times have I seen an elevator that's out of service? And it's like, do they have a plan for that? Like if I'm wheelchair bound and like, do they have one of those like they have like some cool, or like when there's a fire thing, right? Like those are, it's like, how would I get out? And like me, right? Like, yes, I'm young. I can maneuver and like hang on somebody or whatever. But it's like, dude, I'm thinking of like if there's like a little old lady or something or whatever. Like, what if there's somebody with no legs? Uh, I mean, it's just like really opening my mind to these things that I never would have thought of because of my privilege as a normal, like, I guess it's not normal, like able-bodied person. That's like my normal life, and now it's like, whoa. Um, yeah, you know what's weird too is like a lot of you're just getting it as it comes. Like bathrooms, there's like this erasure of like like a lot of times in bathrooms, even if it is like accessible, it's like I can't see the mirror because like the mirror is actually like, well, I'm sitting, but like it's higher up. So like a lot of times I can't even see myself in the mirror. I'm washing my hands like this or something, and it's almost like there's like this erasure of a person. I know that's dramatic maybe, but it's like if you're in a wheelchair, it's like you are just a person in a wheel. You're just like a wheelchair person. Like there's not anything else to it. Um, so like I really like to like catch people off guard and like I'll say a joke or like a funny, I'll just be like really show my personality somehow, and or like sometimes I'll be like, hold on, and I'll like want to give somebody like a hug, and I'll be like, hold on, I'm putting on my brakes, and I hop on one leg, you know. But yeah, it's like really, it's changing the way I think about things, and even like the way I see other people. Like I don't, I'm seeing them different, and I'm noticing how people see me as like, everyone wants to be careful and they want to be helpful, but they don't want to be offensive, and it's like, man, it's not that serious. Like, yeah, if it looks like I'm struggling, sure, you want me to get that. I mean, it's not a big deal. If someone's offended, I don't know. Like, there are plenty of hard things I have to do all day. Like, if you see something that's a little hard and you want to pick up the thing so I don't have to, like, reach out of my thing, like, thank you. If someone's not just going to say thank you and they're going to be mad, that has something to do with them. So, by all means, I would say, if you want to help somebody, like, offer or, like, just do it. I feel like I would do that for, like, a normal bodied, whatever, abled person anyway. All right, so that's the ACL stuff. What do I want to share about? It's a lot of this slowing down, man. A lot of this slowing down. You know what I realized? Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm touching my numb spot. Just like, hello. Okay, no one's there. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been really cool to like kind of like I'm really taking this recovery reintegration time as like also just thinking about the work that I do, and the things that I see that is like these reoccurring things, and just in life, I don't know, I have plenty of time to think and just like be a part of, I don't really know what I'm saying. And you know what? I'm not going to edit that out because I don't have freaking like capacity for that. You're just getting it raw dog. And at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's a place where you can go, and there's like a band of like employees there playing different instruments and a set list, and you can basically pick a song that you want to sing or play an instrument to, and then it's like you have a built-in band to perform for whoever's passing by, and it's really fun. And I was sitting there for a good part of the day in my little vroom vroom because I just park, and I'm like, what? I'm just staying here. And I'm just like able to watch people and have fun, listen to some good music. And I noticed too that like there's this theme of like, when people are getting there up on, it's not even on stage, but behind the mic or the instrument, whatever, like there's kind of like two different kinds of people. Like there are some people that are there, and there's like a very like performance minded like tension, right? Like maybe they know the song. There was a kid today that like rocked this guitar whole solo to this whole song, and like he did it so good. It was this young kid. But what I realized is there was like this other thing missing that comes with like I guess like letting go, like, and trusting and having fun and connecting. And it feels like maybe people think those two things are at odds, like good performance is focus and then like having fun and enjoying is like not. But like I what I notice is that when the guys would be, or whoever would be so like focused on their role, there's so many moments of connection that I can see that other people are making, whether it's from the audience or other people in the band connecting with them during the song, and it's like they're totally blind to it. They miss it because they are just tunnel visioned into what they're doing. But then there's other people, and you know what too, is like, I can feel it. Like when there's a song, like you can feel it when there's just 5 different parts playing their part to a song. And it's like, okay, here's the song. But then there's something magical that happens when it's more than just like 5 people playing their part, but then there's like some connection and magic and synchronicity and connection, and like you're actually feeling it. Like there's an energy there where it's not just about it all being the right note and the right timing. Like it's more about this energy of like enjoying the moment and having fun and connecting and being like aware enough, not just of yourself, like so self-conscious, but like expanded enough where you can see your bandmates, you can be with the audience, you can be with the music, and you're just like enjoying it. And you know, that was just something I observed, and like it's kind of rare for people to like have the ability to like let go of like all the tension. You know, and I get it. Like this is like almost like a public speaking, right? Like some of the people are singing or performing, right? It's very vulnerable. It can be very scary. I get it. And like maybe just getting up there is a big deal. Totally. I just mean in general, like if there's just such a bigger opportunity for connection, and it's almost like in every moment of life, there's like multiple levels of consciousness that you can choose to exist in that moment. So it's almost, I mean, whatever, we're going there, right? It's almost like in every moment, there's so many different realities that are present. But you're only going to be able to see yours, right? Like we all are kind of like a little tunneled in ours. And like the higher the level of consciousness, the more like broad your like ability to take in. And dude, like it's beautiful. And I just realized that like not a lot of people can do that. And I find that sad. Because that's where all of the magic of life comes, and connection and serendipity. Like look at this fruit fly, right? It's pissing me off. By the way, I'm having a fruit fly issue. And it's not from anything I have. I think it's from like my drains. I'm waiting on maintenance. But if anyone has any like tried and true true tricks, please help your girl out. I did the vinegar and the dish soap and the baking soda and the bleach and the boiling water and the drain, like, and I have like this really cool trap I'm really proud of too. It's like a cone and a thing. And anyway, to me it's sad. I mean, to me it's sad for me because I remember living at that level of consciousness. I don't know, it kind of feels robotic. Like there's a numbness to it. It's very stiff and like formulaic, right? Of like very predictable almost, and upsetting if something breaks that predictability. And like, man, when you open it up, your awareness and your consciousness, and it's not just about what's going on in your head, but you're actually able to like be here in the moment and like feel the energy and exchange energy between other people, because like you have a clean like conduit, right, of your energy and your frequency, and it's not all clogged up with pain and fear and anxiety or whatever. Like, you're able to just like really be here. Like, dude, every day. Like, not a day goes by that I don't have like some sort of magical connection that's unexpected with a total stranger. Because like there's just like a beauty in this moment of coexisting, and it ends up being like really fun and funny, and like it fills my spirit, right? And I realize like, oh, that's normal for me. You know, I've backpacked throughout Europe for 2 weeks, and like that kept like this isn't just a here thing. This is like a people thing. And it's like, oh, like if you're able to get some of the noise and insecurity and fear and anxiety to like subside a little bit, there's like some really cool stuff that happens, right? It's like dip your toe in, like, you know, the water's good. And I realize like some people either like have never tasted that, so they don't even know that that's like available to them. And part of me thinks of like kids in this generation, like kids. It's funny, now I'm one of the people who's calling anyone younger than me a kid. But like, you know, people in their you know, teens and 20s. You know, it's like, do they know of an experience that is more serendipitous and joyful and curious and creative, and there's a confidence and a playfulness, like it's not so serious. Like, do they know that there's something else? Because a lot of the times their parents are the ones who are just as freaking anxious and not in the moment because they're so it's like, do they know that there's something else out there? So, you know, part of me wonders, like, do people not experience it, where they don't even know it's real? Or maybe, right, sometimes what happens, and it's kind of like the nerve thing, right? Like, sometimes, like, when something you feel so deeply, like some sort of, like, really sharp, like, pain or trauma or whatever, like, it kind of, like, numbs things out, right? It's like a protective mechanism that our body does, where it's like, oh, I just felt a lot more than I was wanting to or ready for or whatever. I'm never willing to go back there, so I'm just going to shut off the switch. This is just like closed now forever. It's not even worth it. And I guess you could think of that like as my knee, right? Where it's like there was some serious trauma that was done, right? There was it's actually really funny. Like there's a line in my knee. Actually, this is my knee, and this would be my, hold on. This would be my femur. This would be my tibia. By the way, there's two menisci here. This would be my medial. This would be my lateral. Don't get me started. Okay, so this is my knee. So there's a cut for my ACL. I don't feel like undoing it and showing you. So there's a cut, and it's like this side I can feel, and this side I can't. And it's like, oh, okay, there was a trauma, right? Literally a cut that was so severe to those nerves that it was like, shut down. And that makes sense, right? Like why that happens. The thing is, like some people like just, it's like they never want to turn the switch back on, because those switches can be turned back on, right? Of feeling again, and knowing how to, you know, regulate with big feelings and all that. Like that is totally possible, right? I'm proof of it. Like I work with people all the time. This is not a new thing, but it's like a lot of times people don't want to, or like subconsciously they're just like fine with being numb so that they don't feel that again. And the reality is like that's a pretty cheap deal. Like you're giving up all your feelings because of this. When the reality is, like, this thing that happened, you did survive it. Like, it was painful. Yes, it didn't kill you. And we can actually, like, integrate it and work around it to actually, like, make it a, you know, a part of you that doesn't weigh on. Like, you know, there's healing available. So anyway, there's some people that I think are just subconsciously like, I don't want to go there. And then, what was the other one? I think there was a third category. So some people who don't know it, it's even there, the ability to feel and be connected, Some people who have had something happen and they just cut it off, or it cut off, and then they've never turned it back on. Got it. That's what I was going to say. The third thing is I think people who have turned it off intentionally, right? Like there's either some sort of fear or some sort of pain, and they're just like, I don't want to go there. Even like preventatively, potentially, right? And this is a lot of the like, like fear of like getting too close to people, like trust issues, people that are like more avoidant, right? It's like, well, let me reject you first so that I don't have to feel this rejection. So like, I mean, I guess in some way these are all kind of just examples of the same thing. I'm just trying to paint more pictures of like, it's sad. And you think of it, like that was me for so long, was like some element of like, I guess it was like choosing to turn it off and it being turned off simultaneously. Here I go, just like coming up with a different analogy for everything that I just said. But like, I was getting high every day, or like plastered, or just drunk. Because I couldn't stand the feeling of being sober and awake in my own skin in daily life. So like, yeah, that was me. I didn't want to feel anything. It was just like, let me be numb, dude. And that was me. And man, like, I am so grateful that like I found a way to learn how to feel. And man, it's such a gift. They say in recovery, like the hardest thing is you get your feelings back, and the best thing, you get your feelings back. Oh my God, it's so the best thing, so worth it. Because even the pain, it's like I said in I think like my last video about like grief and the week 2 thing, is like people who say it's better to just like not love at all than to love and to lose. And it's like, well, if you ask people though, I saw something. There was like some video of like somebody interviewing like a widower who was talking about his wife who had died, and like he's like, maybe it would have been better to just like, this hurts so much, maybe it would have been better to like not have loved at all. And like somebody asked him like, would you really rather have never known your wife and like never have had this family? Like, would you really like take it all back so that you don't feel this moment right now? And he was like, well, when you think about it, no, I love my wife. I just wish it didn't hurt. And I think that's the thing, is like when we learn that grief is a two-sided coin with love and joy, right? Like we can't really have one without the other. And it's not like the good and the bad. The deeper we can allow ourselves to feel grief, it's in the depth of that grief that we can feel more love. Like it's like a cycle, right? Like we come out the other side where it's like, I wouldn't want this grief to be taken away from me. A friend of mine, his partner had passed away, and he was telling me how at the funeral, or at the service, there were some of his friends offering him some drugs. And he was explaining to me like how he had told them like, no, like, no thanks, I want to feel this, right? Like I need to feel this. Like, this is my partner, right? Like, I don't want to numb this. I don't want to numb her memory. I want to feel all of it. And it's by feeling it that it actually opens you up, right? Like, people think the grief never ends. It will end if you can actually process it and go through it in a healthy way where you're not just staying stuck, right? And a lot of times people just don't know how to do that, or they don't have somebody to help them through that process of feeling. But a lot of times it's like people who aren't actually doing the feeling, they're resisting the feeling, which is why they're stuck and not progressing. So blah, 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 blah. That was all to say about trying to backtrack and see how I got there. Oh well. I'm realizing this video is already 35 minutes. And, well, yeah, and like part of me is like, I should cut it short because like it's so long and disorganized. Oh well. But there was something else I want to talk about, which is a topic that's been coming up more and more lately in my own circle with the people that I work with, which is like this topic of sexuality. And I don't, well, I do get it. I get why this feels so taboo. But again, it's like levels of consciousness, right? Like I can see why people feel that way. And also I can see how it's like, well, why? Why is this weird to talk about sex and desire and pleasure and longing and intimacy and like communication and wanting and asking and receiving and get like, why is this weird? Why is this weird to talk about? Like our society is so twisted, bro. And it's like if you are only surrounded by mirrors and echoes of that same thing in society and you don't consciously have like some better perspectives coming in from the people around you and whatever you're intaking, right, resources or books or whatever, whatever, yeah, you're gonna start to adopt some of that like shame. And that's something that I've been realizing more and more lately is like how like I think just people like are feeling so shamed and then they feel so frustrated, and they want to be able to feel free, but they don't know how because it also feels shameful. And man, like there's a way out of all of this. Like nobody's broken or anything. And I just share like my own journey of like I was like so sexually shamed. Not just from like a gay perspective of like, oh, I'm gay and internalized homophobia of like, oh, I love women or like I prefer to have sex with women, right? That sort of thing. But just in the sense of like, I am a sexual being in general, whether I was straight or not. There's shame just around that for the longest time for me, to the point where in my active addiction, before I found recovery, I could only have sex with somebody if I was somehow intoxicated. That's how like insecure and afraid and nervous and anxious I was. Like I knew I wanted to have sex, but I was so afraid of it as well. That was my only remedy, was like having this crutch of somehow being drunk or high or fucked up in some way because I was so afraid of somehow like not doing a good job or like not being sexy or not being a good partner or not being desirable or being awkward, like whatever it was. I was so afraid. Like it felt that was so core. Like if somebody saw me as a like terrible sexual partner or like something like that, or just like not desirable in that way, from like someone who I had been sexually intimate with, like that felt so like, oh my God, I like that felt like a hit to the gut. I needed to prevent that at all costs. So in order to do that, I had this wonderful scheme. This is subconscious, by the way. Like I can only make sense of this now looking back. But back then it's like, yeah, let me get high. And then if something goes wrong, if something's terrible, I can blame it on the substance. And I can be like, oh, last night that was, oh, yeah, I was messed up, huh? Yeah, oh man, yeah, that was, and I could be like, blame it on that. So it wasn't me, it was that. But at the end of the day, it was still like my insecurity. And once I got clean, I guess there's like a whole, journey and saga. But, and then I had like different partners that some of them were like still more like sexually shaming in a way. Like shaming for, or just like not as open or accepting or, like for a long time it was hard for me to communicate anything that I desired or any sort of sexual like wanting or preference or anything. Like was so hard. I couldn't talk. Like even just this portion of this conversation so far, I wouldn't have been able to even say that. It was just so like, oh my God. And, I admired people who could just talk openly about sex and just say like, oh yeah, like, I would really like to have sex with you. Or like, I'm very attracted to you, or, this is what I prefer and this is what I don't prefer. Can we try this? Or what, like, I admired people who could just communicate like that because I could not. And, and then I had a partner at one point who really helped me like learn to feel more like confident and at ease with myself and my identity and my sexuality, and just like embracing and also just like exploring, like not needing to have it all figured out, like, but being willing to be curious and creative and explore with a partner that I trust, to be able to say like, oh, this is something I would want to try. And to be able to say like, no, doesn't quite do it for me, but like, what if we do this? And to be able to like flow with it without it being like a catastrophe. And one thing I think of is I think of men who have different sorts of like performance issues, right? Whether it's ED or whatever. Well, let me tell you, you're probably like, how the fuck did we get here? But like, let me tell you, right? I think there's something we could all learn from lesbians, which is like, again, like these are like level of consciousness. And I think especially like straight men, or just people that are in heterosexual relationships, man-woman relationships, where, dude, there's like just so much pressure on the dude to perform in a certain way. Like literally, just that his penis just like performs in a certain way. And it's like, oh, if that doesn't work, then it's like all ruined, or, and then there's like a lot of shame and stigma around like needing, he's getting older and it's hard. It's like, dude, what the fuck are we talking about? Since when does sex and pleasure have anything to do with needing any part of our body to operate in a certain way? Like, the whole point of sex is an exploration, a creativity, a discovery. But if you are setting expectations and criteria that sex needs to be done in this specific way and last this particular amount of time in this particular fashion, then it's like, whoa, okay, yeah, I would feel a lot of pressure going into that too. But like, this is where I love the lesbian sexuality. The world of lesbian sexuality is like, lesbians have a reputation, let's just say, of they can like have sex for a long time, right? They might be with a partner for hours and hours. And the reason, I say this for a reason, right? Which is that I think lesbians are just very creative. Like, you realize in a lesbian relationship, there's not like a penis involved and any sort of performance attached to it. And it's just about like being in the moment and playing and experimenting. Like, there are so many ways to have so much freaking fun without a penis that is operating in a certain way for a certain duration of time. Like, you're being so closed-minded to like what sex is, even for a heterosexual couple. I'm not saying, oh, go like be gay. I'm saying even a straight couple can be so limited, and there's like a whole world open to you, right? If you're willing to like be open and get creative, right? Like, do some research, explore like what are different pleasure centers, right? Like, what are different kinks? There's a BDSM community. Like, for so long, I even had so much stigma around all of these things, toys, right? Whatever. And like, why? Why does it have to be so stigmatized? Actually, the kink community, BDSM community, like dungeon community, any like non-traditional community that I've been a part of, or even just like connected with, dude, they're like the coolest people because they understand some really cool elements of sexuality, which is about like, first off, like not yucking anyone's yum, which is like, okay, this person is really, really into, whatever, like feet. my feet are fucking ticklish. Like, don't even look at my feet. I'm so ticklish. But like, all right, that's their yum, right? I'm not gonna yuck it. It's just not for me. But like, all right, do you, right? So like they understand, like they're just very open, and they're like, all right, cool, that's your thing, cool, that's not mine. Or they'll be like, all right, cool, I'm down to explore and experiment with that. And number two is they're like super clear on consent. And there's like very clear communication about safe words, about consent being revoked at any time during sex. Like it feels so freeing in ways that like our traditional society doesn't really have enough like capacity to really like imagine and explore. So anyway, I would just encourage you to like get involved in like just even some research of like other ways. There's a great book, Come As You Are, Emily Nagoski, that talks about, especially for women, the two pedals, right? There's the gas and the brakes when it comes to our sexuality. And I use that analogy in a lot of different ways of my coaching as well. But yeah, that was something that was on my heart to share about, because yeah, and you know what too is like, you know, I was speaking with somebody who was sharing about like how it's hard to want to have sex with their husband, because like if you don't feel emotionally safe, right, or emotionally connected in an intimate way, for some people that needs to precede a feeling of like physical attraction, like physical attraction and intimacy and arousal. So it's like, don't shame yourself for not wanting to have sex if you're not getting this. Like, yeah, like some of us, it doesn't matter. Some of us need certain things in order to feel safe emotionally, and even just like, yeah, just like even like aroused in that way. And Emily Nagoski talks about this as well in her book. But yeah, and it's just about like owning like whatever your story is and letting that be that and coming to acceptance. For a long time, like I was like so angry and like not accepting, and I was like so judgmental about the things that would bring me pleasure. And I was like, I don't like the things that my body likes. Like I don't want that to be this thing. I wonder if I'm talking too loud. I realize I'm getting excited, and I wonder if my neighbors can hear me. Well, I think they should hear. Maybe they need to hear this. I mean, it is late, but imagine you're just hanging out, you're getting ready for bed, and next door you just hear somebody rambling on about lesbians have better sex. We should all learn from lesbians. Oh dear. Oh dear. I was so judgmental about like, why can't I just be this way, my sexuality or my body, the way it reacts, right? Or I would get so angry or impatient with myself, or like, why can't I, climax in a certain way with a certain partner or whatever, and then I like add more anxiety, and like maybe it seems like I'm giving a lot of information. I don't really care, right? Because like, hey, it's about like going through that journey and finding like peace with yourself and acceptance. And then it makes it a lot easier when you're with somebody else. By the way, total tangent. People have an idea that like people in a wheelchair are like not sexual beings. I realize that. There's like a desexualization. But like, yeah, no. People can be wheeling along. They can have some Hot Wheels. I mean, anyway. Side note, tangent, right? Like, yeah, they're still, like, they have preferences, they have desires, all of that. It's not just about surviving and rolling from one place to another. Like, they're a person. So anyway, yeah, I would just be like really frustrated with myself and the way that my body would react to certain things with sex. And like, I had to work through, how do I nurture a deeper level of self-acceptance and self-compassion that allows myself to be where I'm at and to be able to communicate that with whoever I'm with, whatever partner I'm with, and like not feel shame about it. Like to say, this is what I need. or this is what I want, or this is what I don't want. And like, it's very liberating. It's beautiful when you get to that place, and it becomes a lot just more fun. And it's not so serious. It's not so serious. But what was I going to say? Right, I think there is more and more awareness and acceptance these days of different types of sexuality too, or like whether it's asexuality or even like people who require some degree of like an emotional or personality connection before they can have like a sexual attraction or desire or whatever. Is that demisexual or pansexual? Anyway, like there's, more fluidity of just like, yeah, we're not all cookie cutters. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, it's a whole rainbow. Really, even for straight people. So, we talked about my ACL. We talked about my graft. We talked about my sexuality. We talked about me rolling around in a scooter. Vroom, vroom. We talked about people performing in a band. We talked about how this is going to have to be a one-take thing. And, like, maybe eventually I'll just, like, do it live so I don't even have to, like, cut beginning and end and all of that. But, yeah, that's what I got. I think in my ideal state, what I guess, like, ask to you would be if you have questions or, like, topics that are burning for you, like, in my mind, in some version of the future, like, I would love to just log in online, on live and be able to just answer whatever questions are coming up for you. Like, if you just want some random support in something, like, I love that stuff. Because for me, I guess I have, like, a certain type of, like, pattern recognition brain with my, all of my nerdy experience and expertise and knowledge and research in emotional intelligence and human psychology and communication, like all of these things that, like, for me it's very simple and fun, what seems like a big puzzle to somebody else. So in the future I would love to do that, so putting that out there, and maybe I would even like be doing a puzzle while I'm talking to you, because sometimes I like to do that, jigsaw puzzle. Anyway, I'm shaking this. I want to, like, exit with, like, rolling back, but then I realized I had my brakes on. But thanks for watching. And, yeah, I think at the end of the day, this all just boils down to, like, how can you be the most true, authentic, and free version of yourself? Yeah. And, like, the different things that come in the way of people experiencing that. But at the end of the day, I think that's what it all comes down to. And that happens to be just, like, a through line of my life, is, like, this search and, like, discovery and adventure for, like, deeper and deeper and deeper levels of my authentic self. And, like, just continuing to do the digging and discovering, and it's so freaking fun, and it's so rewarding to see other people on that journey and kind of like guide them and offer them some support as they're doing it too. So you have any questions on that front, or struggles, some areas of life where it's harder for you than others, let's chat, or like drop a question or whatever, comment, email, pigeon, say, mail. I'm not going to edit this. Yes. Okay. Talk soon. Bye.